We're over on Doomberg. EV market surge toward $57 trillion sparks global flashpoints. Electric vehicle land grab is reshaping economies and challenging political allegiances around the world. The historic transition from the century-long era of the internal combustion engine to the electric vehicle age is creating flashpoints in surprising corners of the world economy. And it's only just beginning. Well, so far so good, especially about the only just beginning part. In Canada's resource-rich Ring of Fire, green goals are colliding as permits to dig up EV minerals are slowed by concerns over environmental degradation. In Thailand, dubbed Asia's Detroit, Japanese automakers are losing ground to Chinese companies. In Mexico, Western automakers are expanding fast to sell EVs across the northern border. But in the meantime, Chinese firms are ramping up sales to local consumers. And spoiler alert, it ain't just local consumers, but also the wave of Chinese EVs being exported globally is now well underway, yet still just getting started. Context on screen now. Chinese EV exports by brand from January 2022 to June 2023. So basically 18 months here. Now these are vehicles produced in China, exported and sold outside of China. Tesla denoted in red. Now this is worth studying for a moment, folks. Does anyone find it a little puzzling or perhaps at least interesting that the company currently exporting the most made in China electric vehicles isn't a Chinese company, but in fact Tesla? Isn't that interesting? Tesla is producing and then exporting significantly more electric vehicles in China and selling them outside of China than are any Chinese EV makers. Visualized differently, this January to June 2023, so just the first half of this year, China EV exports by company, right? Tesla, accounting for almost 40% of the pie. Now, to be clear, these are cumulative exports. All Chinese EV makers. In purple here, that sliver of 7.5% is all others. European joint ventures in green here. Geely, blue. BYD, yellow. SAIC in blue. And Tesla in red. Tesla absolutely dominating made in China EV exports. Of course, Tesla's absolutely dominating everywhere, everything and everyone. So we kind of already knew this, but I just wanted to add this important context because Doomberg are right. The invasion of made in China EVs is just getting started. China is a standout leader in the EV race, with a more than 80% share of the world's lithium-ion battery capacity and huge leads in most other critical components. The big guy, PS, what laptop, wants to change that with the US's Inflation Reduction Act spending billions of dollars to lure producers to America and its closest trading partners. Playing catch-up is the European Union, with its investigation into Beijing's EV subsidies as surging sales of made-in-China cars put millions of jobs at risk. And by the way, these jobs are more than at risk, they're toast. Sorry, not sorry, but the facts are the facts. As I've said a million times, it does bear repeating. The future automotive market in terms of units sold per year looks like this. Number 1, Tesla, far and away. Number 2 through 10, Chinese EV makers. Maybe 1 or 2 exceptions, miraculously, from some of the brands that you currently know. And that's it. And if true, if I'm right, I will be, people currently working for companies producing vehicles that are currently in the top 10 globally and soon will no longer be in the top 10 will no longer have jobs. This is just inevitable. Skipping ahead a little bit to global passenger vehicle sales by drivetrain in BNEF's base case forecast. Now, I'll try not to choke when reading this, but we've got some forecasts here, guys, about the future. And you know how this is going to end, don't you? So 2023, I mean, it's pretty much already done. So we could ignore 2023. Let's just get to the juicy part. We'll start at 2030. In 2030, Brain Not Even Functioning's forecasts suggest that a whopping, let's call it 35% of all new vehicles sold will be electric in 2030. They must have been taking advice and input from legacy automotive manufacturers. These morons have approximately the same number of internal combustion engines being sold at the end of this decade as they do electric vehicles. In fact, I'm going to bust out a Mac OS trick here and just measure to get a more precise idea. Okay, check this out. I'll drag this down here and let's see. In fact, they have slightly more internal combustion engine vehicles being sold in 2030 than they do electric. And that's in 2030. 7 fucking years from now. Potatoes gonna potato. 5 years later in 2035, they still expect roughly 1/4 of all new vehicles being sold to be internal combustion in 2035. And in 2040, oh man, Brain Not Even Functioning still believe that probably call that 15 million internal combustion engine vehicles will be sold. New ICE vehicles in 2040. Many people watching this channel unfortunately won't even be alive in 2040. Oh, yeah, well, In totally unrelated matters, link in description to AG1. Anyway, enough of these super embarrassing forecasts. I just once again wanted to point out that expert is a pejorative term. The stakes are enormous. Brain not even functioning forecast the cumulative value of all forms of EV sales will hit 8.8 trillion by 2030. So this is important context. Now that we've covered these embarrassingly low estimates, just remember, they're so far off the mark to the downside, you can probably double or triple some of these figures. So this whole article, the point of this from Bloomberg, oh geez, huge opportunity, lots of money, blah, blah, blah. And these are based on massive, embarrassing underestimates. And 57 trillion by 2050 in its base case scenario. That jumps to over 88 trillion in the middle of the century if the world ditches its gas-guzzling vehicles even more quickly. While we're on the subject of astonishingly bad calls from people suffering from SBS, this classic 4 years ago from Tesla Charts, the same clown, don't know how else to say it, who praised Trevor Milton of Nikola, saw in Elon what was in fact in Trevor and saw in Trevor what is in fact in Elon. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up. Check this out. From the 12th of November 2019. The German government isn't the Chinese government. They won't throw billions of dollars at a fraudulent huckster for headlines and internal politics. There will never be a Tesla factory in Germany because Elon can't afford to build his own factories. See New York. Tesla Q. Fascinating study in mental illness, this Tesla Q mob. And now this. David Giant Nutsacks posts this. Thiel's Law, a startup messed up at its founding, cannot be fixed. Musk responds. Tesla was insanely messed up at its founding, but is now worth around $750 billion. So it sounds like Elon Musk, at least in this one case, made the dysfunctional functional. He continues. Also, while I have immense respect for Peter's intellect, fair enough, the guy does have a gigantic brain, he did explicitly pass on funding Tesla at a $70 million valuation despite being offered priority. So that has got to hurt. I'm pretty bad at math, that's why I just make YouTube videos. But let's just say that Peter hypothetically had $1 million to invest. It would have been far in excess of that, but let's just say 1 million. That today, at that valuation, would be worth over $1 billion. 10 million in, worth over 10 billion today. 100 billion in, worth over 100 billion today. You guys get the point, right? Huge missed opportunity. Worse still, this response from Steve Jurvetson, a venture capitalist, also a very smart guy, and a massive space nerd, I think epic meteorite collection, no joke, posted this, a clip, May 22nd, 2012. This gonna be good.
I think batteries are a fundamentally old thing. It involves chemistry, positively, negatively charged things, and we cannot really come up with dramatically better batteries because there are basically all the chemicals have been discovered that exist in the periodic table. And so if you look at battery efficiencies, it's a sort of mature industry, and they're just not as good. You basically, electric cars have to be recharged too quickly. The batteries tend to run out. And if you include the cost of the batteries depleting over time and needing to get replaced after 25 to 30,000 miles, the all-in cost ends up being quite high. I think, I think the simplest way, you had your chance, let me talk now. The simplest way to, however, rebut this is simply to say, at what price of oil do people actually have an incentive to switch? And if you, my claim is that $10 a gallon is not high enough. That's what gasoline is in Western Europe, and people have small cars. They live in more compact cities, and there have been no meaningful adoption of electric cars in Europe. $10 a gallon is not enough. Maybe you can do it at $20 a gallon.
There aren't that many cars to buy in Europe. They're buying them as fast as you can make them. And the battery thing is just wrong. Someone can do their research, but every one of those statements is wrong. They've already driven more than 200,000 kilometers. To say that they've run out at 35 is just patently wrong. Every car that's tried to go over 35 has. Every single one. So I just can't respond to that.
I think Jason Calacanis summed this up perfectly. Sometimes being really smart works against you. In other matters, Goldman Sachs, full of very smart people, reiterated a neutral rating on Tesla's stock with a 12-month price target of the stock, which is basically the same price as it is today, as the company continues to develop its AI and full self-driving capabilities. Investor interest in Tesla's AI potential has surged recently, true, drawing increased attention. This outlook has been a central focus for the company over multiple years, evident from the AI days held in August 2021 and October 2022. Yeah, let's be honest here. A few years from now, Tesla will be able to say, well, we tried to warn you repeatedly. We literally held AI days year after year after year and told everybody what we were working on, what we're doing, how much compute we had, our chips, everything. And you said, they're just a car company. Price target, exactly what Tesla stock is today. In short, I personally believe there's a lot of apparent value in Tesla today that the stock market has not yet recognized. Ain't gonna age well. Analysts at Goldman Sachs maintain the belief that Tesla stands on a strong footing to emerge as a frontrunner in AI-related technologies. Just got to jump in here again. Yet, interestingly, believe that Tesla stock's essentially worth the same 12 months from now as it is today. And for real, $230 price target as I record this, Tesla stock $234.30. I mean, geez, talk about a courageous price target. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? Because what they're saying versus their belief in Tesla's fair valuation over the next 12 months seems to be a mismatch. If I didn't know any better, I obviously do. These guys are much smarter than me. And as we know, smart people are always right. If I didn't know any better, I might think they've all placed their testicles in a purse somewhere and don't at all want to take a chance and would rather just wait and chase rather than be ahead of the curve. So, despite the fact that Goldman Sachs believe that Tesla stands on a strong footing to emerge as a frontrunner in AI-related technologies, price target essentially the same as Tesla today. This confidence stems from the company's extensive resources and exceptional engineering talent across chip design, software, hardware, and data fields. Again, the discrepancies between the price target and their words are stunning. The analysts expect Tesla's leadership in this segment will help the automaker to expand businesses like FSD, in particular for the company's own fleet of vehicles. Goldman Sachs believes that their very courageous $235 price target reflects Tesla's future potential for growing in new high-margin areas, particularly concerning its own fleet. They suggest the company may gain more product traction in other segments before potentially ascribing additional value to FSD licensing or potentially providing Dojo as a service. If Tesla successfully seizes these opportunities, Goldman Sachs believes the market potential could be substantial. Quote, we believe in an upside case, FSD could be $50 to $100 billion a year of revenue from Tesla's fleet by 2030, up from what we believe is $1 to $3 billion a year presently, wrote analysts at Goldman Sachs in a note. So really hard to square these comments with their price target, and I mean really hard. They're potentially talking about as much as a 100 times increase in FSD revenue alone, which is very high margin, by 2030, right? From as low as $1 billion, maybe up to $3 billion, to as much as $50 to $100 billion, yet $235 per share. Very hard to understand. But again, I'm not very smart, so that's probably why I don't understand. Meanwhile, just wanted to share this, found it on X. Despite a sales launch 1 month after the BMW iX, or potentially the BMW 9, I don't even know. I'm not a car person, in case you didn't know. The Tesla Model Y outsold the BMW iX in Germany by 797% as of October 2023. So we're looking at cumulative monthly vehicle registrations in Germany since vehicle launch. So there's Tesla. If you're looking on screen now, we just got to scroll a little way down this chart. There we go. So stunning effort there from BMW. They've sold nearly 9,000 of these things cumulatively. Scrolling back up, Tesla Model Y, just over 80,000. Putting that all in perspective, this is what it looks like when the competition comes in 2 seconds flat, and then explains it doesn't normally happen. Speaking of the competition coming, in the United States in 2020, there were 16 different electric vehicle models available. Today, 2023, 47 different models available, yet Tesla's total market share in the United States stunningly has barely moved, which is strange because apparently the competition came, yet apparently no one cares. Still keep buying Teslas. Weird. It's almost like their products are so good that no one can compete. But of course, this chart will disprove that thesis, right? Cumulative monthly vehicle sales since market launch in Germany through till October 2023. And once again, on screen now, we can see Tesla's Model Y dominating, just over 80,000 sold to date. VW's ID4 and ID5 combined, heavily leveraging naive VW fanboys, fangirls, and brand loyalists. They won't make that mistake again. Still outdone by Tesla. Hyundai's Kona, just over 60,000 combined units sold. Next, a Skoda EV at just over 40,000. The Audi Turd, just over 30,000. Hyundai Ioniq 5, just over 30,000. And you guys can see for yourselves some of the supposed big boys barely registering. Now I'm going to zoom out and provide full perspective now. So we saw earlier Tesla made in China EVs. More of those are being exported globally than are from any EV makers in China that aren't Tesla. And now we see Tesla embarrassing many European and German automotive manufacturers in their backyard. Oh, and this is before the Berlin factory has fully ramped up. We're just getting started. I saw this on X, thought it was also worth sharing. A reporter with the Balls Deep Journal visited over 100 non-Tesla fast charging stations across Los Angeles. She said that 27% of the 126 fast charging stations she visited did not work for various reasons. And some dickhead with 3 first names posted this. 27% of the non-Tesla chargers didn't work. Imagine if your dick didn't work 27% of the time. Embarrassing. I mean, for real. When I talk about electrifying my asshole and these third-party charging networks sucking harder than a fucking vacuum, I'm not joking. More than 1 in 4 times doesn't work. Can you imagine having an employee that every 4th day they're like, oh, I'm not coming in today, f*** you. Why? Because I'm just not going to work today, f*** you. It would be unacceptable. Yet here we are. More proof that Tesla's in big trouble and the competition's coming. And some fake news here from Sawyer Merritt claiming that Polestar are now also going to be adopting Tesla's supercharging network in China, which is obviously fake news because alternative charging networks are fantastic, as we just saw. It's not like Tesla has invented the industry standard. So let's move on. I also found this on X. Goldman Sachs estimate. Battery prices are forecast to fall 40% by 2025. And that's from 2022. We noticed a slight increase here in costs overall during the scamdemic-induced supply chain challenges and so on. Once that clears through the system, so to speak, a very significant cost decline. Imagine that. They're finally starting to get it. Cost declines. Although, not 100% sure about the slope of this. Might be a bit more aggressive. But the point is here. The single most expensive thing in an electric vehicle is the battery pack. So, if the cost of the single most expensive thing in these vehicles plunges by 40% or more, I hate to do it, but Brain Not Even Functioning's forecasts of electric vehicle adoption are probably going to be embarrassingly low. And I'm just kidding. They will be embarrassingly low. But you already knew that, right? In short, Goldman Sachs think Tesla's going to be one of the world's leading AI companies and FSD could be doing $100 billion a year in 2030. And strangely think Tesla stock's perfectly priced right now, as it is. Weird. Expert forecasts are embarrassingly low. We heard from an expert with a very high IQ, a little bit too smart for his own good, why electric vehicles didn't really make sense. And I think what I'm really trying to get at here is there still seems to be a massive disconnect between perception and reality over the next few years and the next decade or so. At some point, people will figure it out. But until then, thank you, dear investors or non-investors, for the discount. Still buying with every spare cent. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point and something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy. Wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, Snake Oil Salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link at the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.